कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाट पटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Reading from Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, the story of God. We are in the Canto 10 and Chapter 7. There are two parts in the 10th canto, Purvardh and Uttarardh. Purvardh means 49 chapters and Uttarardh means 41 chapters collection. So what have we read in the Purvardh? We have read how Sri Krishna has descended on the Prithvi Lok and the marriage of Devaki and Vasudeva has taken place, and Kans, who was very affectionate to Devaki, suddenly has become very hostile because there was the Akashvani that the eighth son of Devaki and Vasudeva will be the cause for Kans, the death of Kans. That was the first chapter, and then Kans becomes inimical. He kills the six sons. And then the Lord prepares to arrive, how he enters Vasudev's heart and then into the womb of Devaki. And in a divine way, the birth takes place. That this is not the biological birth. This is the divine birth of the Lord. The Lord shows his four-armed form to Devaki, and both Vasudeva and Devaki, they have the darshan, they glorify the Lord. And alongside there is the Yogmaya who has taken place of Sri Krishna, because Sri Krishna was transferred to Yashoda Mata's place in Nandagram. And when Kans comes to kill the eighth child, he sees Yogmaya, who is in the baby girl form, and when he tries to smash her on the ground, she flies in the sky and makes the prediction that your killer has already taken birth. So that infuriates Kans so much, and he decides to call all his associates and sends them to look for the any boy or girl who has been born in the last few days and kill them. So we learnt about Putana, how she came to Krishna's place when the ceremony was going on. So Shri Krishna's the Janmotsav, the birth ceremony took place, and Putna has come in the disguise of a very beautiful woman. This Putna was related to Bali Maharaj, and when Vaman Vaman Dev, the Lord's dwarf incarnation, took place, Putna, she was in the form of Ratnamala, and she was so much fond of this form of Vaman Dev, she developed the motherly affection. And the Lord is noting that down, and he has given her the opportunity to feed her milk to Krishna. So she has become Putna, the demoness, and she has taken this beautiful disguise, and she has come and taken Sri Krishna in her lap. She is feeding him milk, but she has actually smeared poison, and her intention is to kill Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, being the Supreme Almighty, doing Leelas, he suckles the mothers, and then they go into the sky. She is in great pain, and she dies. She falls on the earth and becomes 12 mile long, crushing so many trees. So that was Putna Uddar. And then, yeah, that was the last session. And today we will read about Shakat Bhanjan and Trinavarth Uddar. So, killing of Putna, after that, the killing of Trinavarth and Shakat Bhanjan. So, there is this personality called Hiranyaksh. He has a son called Utkach. And Utkach had once offended Lomash Rishi. And Lomash Rishi had cursed Utkach that you will lose your body. Means you will become bodiless. You know, the body, we have the three bodies: Sukshma Sharir, subtle body, gross body, the Asthul Sharir, and Karan Sharir, causal body. So the curse was that you will lose your gross body. So he is losing his gross body. So when he is experiencing that loss of the gross body, he is praying to Lomas Rishi for a benediction. And then the benediction was given by the saint that in Krishna's avatar, when Krishna will touch you with his foot, you will get back your body. So that is the background. We will read about this story in detail, but first let us begin the session with a singing of a kawali today. And Yatin ji can read the English version, and then we will sing this kawali. After that, we will read the text of this chapter, and then we will have some discussions and conclusion.
जी भैया. O Shri Krishna, I have developed an affinity for bowing my head at your door, which benefits us both. For you have found a worshipper and I have found a shelter. I am not worried if I become a stranger to the entire world. But, O Master of my life, please don't ever change yourself. This is not a head that will rise again once it has bowed down. Once bowed, it will ever remain, even if you try to raise it a million times. I was nothing before you gave me your identity. Nobody knew me. Nobody asked about me. It is when I got you that I got the whole world in you. Your beautiful dark complexioned face has pervaded my mind and also my heart. Oh, all attractive Krishna, please come to me now, making any excuse. I do not care if the whole world leaves me. My only concern is for you to never leave me. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, a very beautiful kawali. Maharaji has composed some amazing kawalis. This is one of them. मुझे रास आ गया है तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना. See if you can enlarge the font a bit,
Yeah.
if possible. मुझे रास आ गया है, मुझे रास आ गया है, तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना, तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना, मुझे रास आ गया है। तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना, तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना, तुझे मिल गया पुजारी, तुझे मिल गया पुजारी, मुझे मिल गया ठिकाना, मुझे मिल गया ठिकाना, मुझे रास आ गया है। मुझे इसका गम नहीं है कि बदल गया जमाना, मुझे इसका गम नहीं है कि बदल गया जमाना, मेरी जिंदगी के मालिक, मेरी जिंदगी के मालिक, कहीं तुम बदल न जाना, मेरी जिंदगी के मालिक, कहीं तुम बदल न जाना, मुझे रास आ गया है। ये वो सर नहीं है, ये वो सर नहीं है, सर जो झुक करके उठ भी जाए, ये वो सर नहीं है, सर जो झुक करके उठ भी जाए, अब झुक के ना उठेगा, अब झुक के ना उठेगा, चाहे लाख तुम उठाना, चाहे लाख तुम उठाना, मुझे रास आ गया है। तेरी बंदगी से पहले मुझे कौन जानता था, तेरी बंदगी से पहले मुझे कौन जानता था, मुझे कौन पूछता था, मुझे तुम जो मिल गए हो, मुझे तुम जो मिल गए हो, मुझे मिल गया जमाना, मुझे तुम जो मिल गए हो, मुझे मिल गया जमाना, मुझे रास आ गया। तेरी सांवरी सी सूरत मेरे मन में बस गई है, तेरी सांवरी सी सूरत मेरे मन में बस गई है, मेरे दिल में बस गई है, अब आ भी जाओ मोहन, अब आ भी जाओ मोहन करके कोई बहाना, अब आ भी जाओ मोहन करके कोई बहाना, मुझे रास आ गया है। परवाह नहीं है मुझे को जो ये दुनिया रूठ जाए, परवाह नहीं है मुझे को जो ये दुनिया रूठ जाए। गम है तो इसका गम है, गम है तो इसका गम है, कहीं तुम ना रूठ जाना, कहीं तुम ना रूठ जाना, मुझे रास आ गया है। तेरे दर पर सर झुकाना, मुझे रास आ गया है। तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना, तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना, तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना। बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, श्रीमद युगल सरकार
सरकार
की
की
जय।
जय।
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे,
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे,
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे।
राधे।
Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundananji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now let us read from the chapter 7 of Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, the story of deliverance of demon Trinavrat. So we were talking about the Lord's amazing Leela. So God has three forms: Brahm, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. As Brahm, He is there in every particle of the universe. We should always remember that any element, any particle, any molecule you look at into the universe, the Lord is present there as Brahma. As Brahma, He is all pervading. That form is called Brahma. Jnanis worship that form. They don't go into the Paramatma form, they don't go into the Bhagwan form, they concentrate on the Brahma form, the Nirakar form, the formless, the impersonal God. So they attain Brahmanand, the bliss of Brahm. When their sadhana matures, final destination is Brahmanand, which is very, very sweet, but then lesser than the sweetness of bhakti. The yogis worship the Paramatma form. They try to focus on the Vishnu form who is seated in the heart. But the Bhakt worships the Bhagwan form. And that is what Sri Krishna is teaching everywhere in Bhagavad Gita. He says, worship my form, don't worship my form less aspect, because worshipping formless is very, very difficult. Whereas worshipping the form is easier. So the beauty of Bhagavad Mahapuran is it helps us to recognize the form of the Lord, and He is doing so many leelas. So when we were given the human birth, the purpose was to attain the divine and come out of this cycle of birth and death. So the human form is so much conducive to acquiring that status. In fact, this is the only species in which we can perform karma, and it becomes so much easier with the human form to reflect on the leelas of the Lord. And that is why we are reading Bhagavad Mahapuran to relish these leelas and remember them over and over again. And that's how we can eliminate the influence of Maya over us and attain God. That is the theme. So let us read the text. Let me read a few slides first and then the participants will read. Canto 10, Chapter 7, Deliverance of the Demon Trinavrat. King Parikshit asked Sukh Brahm, O sage, the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna's exploits are so delightful to listen, hearing of which the desires of the material world get wiped out, the heart gets purified, and the mind gets attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, developing devotion in the heart. O Master, if you think fit, then I would be most grateful to hear Sri Krishna's many extraordinary leelas. The glorious Sukh Brahma continues, O dear Parikshit, when Sri Krishna was 3 months old, he started turning over Karvat. To celebrate this momentous event of Karvat on his nakshatra Rohini in ascendance, Yashoda Maya invited the Brahmins to utter appropriate mantras suitable for the occasion, doing Abhishek to baby Krishna, and accompanied with other ladies cooked delicious food for the Brahmins. The generous Nanda Baba and Yashoda then donated a variety of food items, clothes, flowers, gifts, and other such desirable items. And sleepy and tucking him comfortably in a cradle shaded under the shed of a bullock cart in the courtyard, she then got busy in completing the rituals. The cart above Sri Krishna was stacked with various utensils of milk, ghee, curds, and other such items to offer in the yajna. Nand and Yashoda, engrossed in the ceremony, did not hear the cries of Krishna, who had woken up due to hunger. So, very prominent Leela, many would have seen and heard this Leela in visuals and audio. So, you can see the ceremony is going on, and Sri Krishna has been uh, made to lie in that cradle near the cart, and that cart has so much of food items, the dairy items. And then Sri Krishna has woken up and is feeling hungry, so he starts crying. But Nanda Baba, Yashoda, all of them are so busy in the ceremony. Let us see what happens in the next slide. Krishna, on being ignored, got angry with hunger, kicked up his tiny legs at the underside of the bullock cart. Amazingly, his kick threw up the cart, flying into air and landing upside down. The force shattering the wheels and axle tree and all the utensils spilling out their contents. The upturned cart with the vessels emptied and their contents lay spread out in the courtyard around Krishna cradle, which however remained undisturbed. All the people rushed out on hearing the commotion and were confused and perplexed to understand how could the cart overturn. Some little boys who were playing close by and had actually witnessed the event told the confused adults about what actually had happened. Unbelieving and dismissing it as childish imagination, they doubted the boy's reasoning, not knowing Sri Krishna's might and immeasurable strength. The worried Yashoda then picked up her son, asking the Brahmanas to ward off the prevailing evil eye and bless her son, and then fed the hungry Krishna. The Brahmins then worshipped the devatas and also the cart, which was now set right, and all the utensils with their contents of dairy products kept back on it. O Parikshit, the Brahmins then sprinkling water on Sri Krishna uttered sacred mantras from the Samved and Yajurved and poured sacred ablutions into the sacrificial fire. Reassured that pious souls like the Brahmins, with no pride, jealousy, violence, material desires, and possessing knowledge of the Vedas, their blessings would always be beneficial and bear fruit. A happy, content Nand Baba then served wholesome food to the Brahmins to eat. So the cart Leela, Shakat Leela in which Shri Krishna has kicked the cart. Shri Krishna is God, he can do anything. So the kick has let the cart fly into the space, and then it has fallen upside down, and all the commotion we read about, and how nothing has happened to the cradle in which Shri Krishna was resting. Krishna was sleeping. So now let's see what happens in the next slide. I'll just read this and then the participants will read. To show his gratitude, Nand also donated cows decorated in beautiful clothes and flowers and gold ornaments to them who uttered choicest blessings in return. Note: Hiranyaksh's son, demon Utkach, with the extreme power and strength, had destroyed all the trees in the hermitage of sage Lomash, who then cursed him that he would stay invisible within a body. When Utkach prayed and pleaded to the sage for mercy, the sage had then pardoned and blessed him, saying that in the Vaivaswat Manvantar he would get liberated with the touch of the Lord's feet. It was Utkach who had entered the cart in this disembodied, invisible state and then had then got liberated. Continuing with the Bal Leela, Sukdev ji starts. When Krishna was 1 year old, Mother Yashoda was playing with Krishna in her lap when all of a sudden his weight increased and became unbearable. Seating him on the ground, Yashoda was amazed and confused, fearing and wanting to avoid some unexpected calamity to Krishna. She got distracted in contemplating to call the Brahmins for remedy. Just then, a demon, Trunavrat, who had been sent by Kans, covered the entire Gokul with a fierce whirlpool of dust storm, making it impossible for one to see even his own hand. Due to this, Yashoda did not see the demon picking up Krishna from the floor and rising up in the air. After about an hour, when the dust settled and not seeing Krishna anywhere, the helpless Yashoda fell to the floor, wailing for Krishna. The other people too now gathered and were overcome with Yashoda's grief and cried. So, what a storm! You cannot even see your own hands. And this is the creation of this demon called Trinavrat, whose purpose is to pick up Krishna and destroy him. So, Krishna has been picked up by this demon from the floor, and Mother Yashoda or no one could come to the rescue of Krishna. So, over to Yatinji. We will now read the next set of slides.
Shall I go ahead, Bhaiya?
Yes, please.
To show his gratitude, Nand also, meanwhile, the demon, having risen upwards with Krishna in his arms, now could not proceed further with Krishna's weight growing very rapidly. He couldn't then neither hold Krishna nor discard Krishna, caught as he was by Krishna at the throat. Choked and breathless, he then fell down dead on the outskirts of ridge, with his eyes popping out of its sockets. The demon, who had fallen on a stone slab, with his limbs shattered, resembled the destroyed city built by demon Maya, shattered by Lord Rudra's arrows. Krishna, who was calmly sitting on the dead demon's chest, was then picked up and handed over to Yashoda. Nand and everyone else experienced tremendous joy to see Krishna safe and sound, escaping death. They continuously thanked and were very grateful for this, thinking it as a result of their previous good karmas. Seeing one calamity after another resolved, Nanda Baba too, remembering Anak Dundubhi's prophecy, was grateful. Then another day, Yashoda, after her feeding her son to her heart's content, was caressing his soft lips when he yawned, and she saw the entire universe, comprising of the sky, horizon, the planets, the four quarters, the sun, the moon, fire, air, the oceans, the dweeps, mountains, forests, the sentient and insentient beings, all within his mouth. Fascinated and amazed, Yashoda close her eyes.
Right.
Wow.
So in this slide, we read how the other demon, Trinavrat, he was killed by Krishna. Krishna became heavier and heavier, and he choked Trinavrat to his end. And then the next Leela we hear about Yashoda getting to see the mouth of Shri Krishna when he was yawning, and in that mouth she sees the entire universe, the moon, the fire, the sky, the horizon, the planets, oceans, dvipas, mountains, etc. And Yashoda just couldn't bear that sight and she shut her eyes. So Lord can do anything and everything. He is kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum samarth. His leelas are aparampar, and we are getting to witness these fascinating leelas of the Lord. So let's move on to the next slide.
Shall I continue with this one, or does anyone wants to read it?
Bija Bhaiya has raised his
Okay,
hand.
thank you.
Radhe, Radhe.
Radhe.
I'll just try to read. Vipra mantra vido yuktas tarya proktas tathastisha ta nisphala bhavishyanti na kadaschid api shutam. Obviously, benediction that are uttered by Brahmanas well versed in sacred prayers and united with God shall never prove fruitless and invariably come true.
Thank you. So we hear the Brahmanas are chanting the mantras, and just to keep the evil eye off, as Mother Yashoda would want them to do. So this is one of the mantras which are uttered by the this particular shloka says that the benedictions that are uttered by Brahmins who are well versed in sacred prayers, and they are constantly united with God, they do not prove fruitless and they come true. So this is how the Lord has been saved from all the calamities which are happening. So let's move on to the next slide.
I'll read this.
Yes, please.
Tam asmanam manya mana atmano guru mataya gale grihate utsrastum nasadnod adbhutarbhakam. Taking that wonderful boy to be a rock of sapphire because of his being heavier than himself and having given up the form of a whirlwind, he could not cast him away, caught as he was by the throat.
Right. So we already read how Trinavrat got caught, and the weight of Shri Krishna has caused him so much of trouble, and then he gets choked ultimately. That is what is described. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, with that we have finished the text. Now we have one slide for the takeaway. So this is from Ramcharitmanas. जप तप नियम जोग निज धर्मा श्रुति संभव नाना शुभ कर्मा ज्ञान दया दम तीरथ मज्जन जहाँ लगी धर्म कहे श्रुति सज्जन आगम निगम पुराण अनेका पढ़े सुने कर फल प्रभु एका, तब पद पंकज प्रीति निरंतर, सब साधन कर यह फल सुंदर। मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी, द्रबहु सो दशरथ अजिर बिहारी। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। Repetition of the divine name, performance of all duties pertaining to the four orders and stages of life, all penance, austerity, knowledge, exercise of compassion, control of the senses, and going on pilgrimage should result only in devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. The Ramayana goes to the extent of saying that even Brahma, the creator, should be ignored if he is not into devotion. The line is not there, but this should be the meaning. So, a very famous set of chaupais from Ramcharitmanas, wherein the importance of bhakti has been highlighted, and one has been cautioned against practicing jap, tap, niyam, yog, shruti, different reading of scriptures. All those, if it is not with the process of devotion, okay, we are doing austerities, we are fasting, or we are doing tapasya, but the bhakti should be mixed with it. It is with the loving devotion to the Lord we are doing tapasya. So that tapasya which is dedicated to the Lord with the tinge of bhakti, that is the recommendation. So same for the japa, which is the chanting, tapa, the austerities, niyam, different rituals, yog, the stang yog, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. So very pertinent verse for Bhakti Margi. And if anybody wants to read this a couple of times, the participants wish to read, you are most welcome. Otherwise, we can discuss the purport of this chapter and the takeaway.
Bhaiya, I would like to read this
Please,
again.
please, please.
I mean, usually I'm not sure about the tone, like which tone, which shloka I would read, but I mean, I will
Yeah,
follow yours.
whichever tune you are used to, you can try
Okay,
your tune.
okay, okay. I will follow yours for now. Yeah. जप
Yeah,
तप
so jap,
नियम
tap, niyam,
नियम
yog,
योग
nij
निज
dharma.
धर्मा श्रुति संभव नाना शुभ कर्मा
Jnana.
ज्ञान दया दम तीर्थ मज्जन जहम लगी धर जाम
Jaha lagi dharma.
धर्म काहे श्रुति सज्जन आगम
Agam.
निगम पुराण अनेका पर
Padhe sun.
सुने कर फल प्रभु एका तव पद पंकज प्रीति निरंतर सब साधन कर यह फल सुंदर
Shri
मंगल
Ram,
भवन
Jai Ram, Jai
जय
Jai
जय
Ram.
राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम राधे
So
राधे
wonderful. You want to read the meaning once again?
yes repetition of the divine name performance of all duties pertaining to the four orders and stages of life all penance austerity knowledge exercise of compassion control of the senses and going on pilgrimage should result only in devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. The Ramayana goes to the extent of saying that even Brahma, the creator, should be ignored if he is devoid of devotion. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much. So actually, if we can understand the meaning of this particular set of chopais, nothing else needs to be understood. We have to have the faith that Sri Krishna is prescribing Bhakti Marg. He says Bhakti Marg is the easiest. Bhakti Marg is compared to the mother cat. The mother cat lifts the baby by the teeth. That means mother cat is taking full responsibility of the baby. So that is compared to Bhakti Marg. In Gyan Marg, the mother monkey is not lifting the baby. The baby is clinging to the mother by its own force. So when the mother monkey is jumping from one branch to another, the risk is so much for the baby to fall down. But in the case of the mother cat, she is lifting the baby with its own teeth. This is called markat. Markat is the monkey and the cat Marjorie. So markat Marjorie Nyay. So the Puranas describe this very candidly, that how Bhakti Marg is so much easier and the only mark to attain God. So glories of Bhakti are also stated in this very prominent dohas, the chopais that we just read. You may be doing the Karm Kand under the Varnashram Dharma. There are 4 ashram and 4 varna: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Grahastha, Sannyas, Brahmacharya, and Vanaprasth. So these are the 8 different permutation combinations. So no matter in which station we are, the recommendation is bhakti. So Bhagavad Mahapuran is the highest granth in the Vedic literature. And what is it talking about? It is talking about bhakti. So with that, we can open up the discussions. Bhaiya.
जी भैया. Beautiful session today where we learned about like the more Bal Leelas and so many more to come yet. And I mean, when we were reading this Leela, I just realized, I mean, this is normal, but I just realized that, I mean, Shri Krishna did not do any, like, did not proactively did anything to on his own terms. Like, however, the demons are coming in their own way. They are devising all the methods and how they want to destroy him, how do want how do want to destroy him, and they're doing those things, and in that action only he just reverts it, or he just makes this impossible for them, like just like Trinavarth. So he did everything. He just like came with the whirlpool and he picked him up and took him in the air and everything, and now and then he came into such a situation that he cannot remove Shri Krishna and he cannot lift him up. So I mean, while doing his own thing, he just is like trapped inside his own scheme. So I mean, it was like kind of. I mean, I just realized, but it was kind of like funny. Like it's not like as soon as Trinavarth is, he came near him, then he is destroyed or something. He did his he did his deed, and he was like doing his thing, and it just backfired and killed him. So I mean,
So
just
basically,
yeah,
you are saying that Krishna is adding so much of spice. He is thickening the plot.
yeah,
Like, a
yeah. He
very,
letting him
it's
do
like,
it. Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah,
this question is asked that why Krishna has to do so much and so many leelas. And this exactly is the answer. When the movie becomes very intense and very enjoyable, when the plot is very thick, there are so many who done it, and there are so many unresolved answers, and you cannot recognize who is the killer. The movie becomes very intense and very interesting. So it appears Krishna is doing the same in his Leelas. He makes it so wonderfully fascinating that one has to think over and over again. And why is he doing it? Because that thinking over and over again is the solution to our problem. We are
Right.
suffering from Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik Dukkha. We are all in the material, the Davanal, the fire of material existence. We are all becoming old, and one day we have to die, and we are having so many different kinds of miseries, some because of our own body, some because of our own mind, and so much because of others. Others are disrespecting us or insulting us or not honoring us, and we want that, and we become so much grievous. So how to come out of these miseries? So Bhagavad Mahapuran and these stories are a great source of recipe solution for that. Yeah.
Ji bhaiya. And but in essence, as we have already read in the takeaway slide, the essence is very clear that, I mean, you do all these things with the you do everything like going on pilgrimage and doing bhajan kirtan, whatever you want to do in this domain, but you have to like be with the aim of devoting or attaching yourself man buddhi to the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. So if you do that, then everything is like fruitful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that is the
Yeah, Sri
final aim.
Krishna,
Yeah,
for Sri Krishna, like there is no method. He has said, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, forget all the dharmas. You just come to my shelter. So in that shelter, the so-called pap also becomes punya. So that is how he is telling. It is very mysterious that if we are under the control of Sri Krishna, if we have given him the reign of our life, then he becomes the protector, he becomes the doer of our actions. Yes.
ji bhaiya. Thank you. Vijay bhaiya, do you like to say something?
Yeah, I mean, so rightly answered, Rajesh Priya, that all this spiciness is because of that we should rethink over it again and again and purify our mind. So nicely answered. I was just because I heard this first time, because I always used to hear that Leela happened when Kana was trying to eat mud. But I heard that it has also happened before that, like when he was
Yes,
yawning.
yes, yes.
So
Actually, that is the beauty of Bhagavad Mahapuran. Yes, even I remember the
Leela.
Vishwarup, the universal form Jashoda Mata saw when the mud lila was going on, and it's
yeah,
a surprise for me also that a similar lila is mentioned here. And like you, I had also missed it last time.
okay, yeah. So it is good to know these are like so nice text, and we many things which we saw only on TV, but we couldn't go in deep. So I'm really liking it.
Yeah, we saw it on the TV and we always associate, the distance. But actually, right now,
Yeah,
as we are talking, Sri
yes,
Krishna is already seated in our heart
yeah,
as Paramatma, right?
yes,
So that
yes.
is the mystery. Though he is so close, we are reading about him and we are describing him so much, but he is seated in our heart and he is aware that we are talking about it. But how
Okay.
many of us can realize that is the sadhana that should take us to a greater level. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I wanted to
correct.
say that
Thank you very much.
although
Yes, please.
although Yatin Bhaiya and Vijay Bhaiya have seen it on TV and other bits and pieces, videos on YouTube, but Hema Didi, myself, Chitra Didi, and Anana, we are actually doing all this on the online Gurukul class, which is for ages 5 to 15 every Saturday. And we've done the Trinavat and the Mad Leela and various other things. And today's Leela is Shakatasur. No, sorry. Yeah, Shakatasur. Is it not, Hema?
Yeah, it is Shaktasur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vatasur, the demon calf.
Vatasur. We've done Saktasur.
Vatsasur. But he's
Vatasur.
also called Shaktasur because Shakat means the cart. So Shaktasur word has also been used.
Okay. Radhe Radhe Bhaiya. There's a new person,
So
Samvedana Ji Jha. If she'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Yes, Samvedna ji, if you wish to unmute and introduce yourself, if you wish. So, while Samvedna ji responds or decides to respond, let's hear from anyone else.
Smita Didi, would you like to say about today's session?
राधे राधे भैया, एक बार फिर बहुत ही सुंदर सेशन था भैया, और आपका भजन बहुत ही अच्छा था। उसमें आपने एक लाइन कुछ कहा था कि आज मैं जो कुछ भी हूँ, जैसा भी हूँ, लोग मुझे जिस तरह भी जानते हैं वो आपकी वजह से जानते हैं, अदरवाइज मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं था। कुछ इस तरह का मीनिंग आ रहा था, वो बहुत ही सुंदर था। एक बार भगवान की शरण में जाओ तो आपको सब कुछ मिलने लगता है, फिर कुछ भी मांगने कहने को रह नहीं जाता। और भगवान जी खुद ही देख रहे हैं, सुन रहे हैं। जब उनको जैसा लगेगा वो हमारे उपयुक्त चीजें हमें देते रहेंगे, चाहे वो हमारे डे टू डे लाइफ के बारे में हो या जीवन में कोई ध्येय या कुछ भी हो हमारा, वो खुद ब खुद पूरा करेंगे। बहुत ही सुंदर सेशन था। और वो भी चीज बहुत अच्छी लगी भैया जिसमें आपने कहा था कि बिल्ली अपने बच्चे को इस तरह से हैंडल करती है एक जगह से दूसरे जगह ले जाने के लिए, उसमें बच्चे को कुछ नहीं सोचना होता है, उसका पूरा भरोसा अपनी माँ पे होता है कि वो जो करिए जैसे करिए मेरे हित के लिए कर रही है। उसी तरह ये भक्ति का मार्ग है जिसमें हम सब कुछ अपने भगवान श्री कृष्ण और राम पे छोड़ देते हैं। हमें पता है वो हमें हमेशा सही स्थान पे ही ले जाएंगे। राधे राधे भैया।
राधे राधे, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
भैया आप
जय
ये
जी।
वाला भजन आप पोस्ट कर देंगे प्लीज?
हाँ, वो धीरे धीरे हम लोग उसको कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा।
और मतलब यतीन जी के साथ हमारी कोलैबोरेशन चल रही है।
जी।
एक तरह से स्टार्टअप समझ लीजिए, स्पिरिचुअल स्टार्टअप।
ओके।
जी
ये महाराज जी का लिखा हुआ है क्या? ये महाराज जी की लिखी हुई
मुझे
कव्वाली
जैसा अंदाज है,
क्योंकि
सारे
महाराज
ये
जी
सब
हर
महाराज जी
कव्वाली
के।
में भी अपना नाम कृपालु एंड में जोड़ते हैं ना भैया, इसलिए मैं
हाँ
क्वेश्चन किया।
हाँ, मतलब मुझे जैसा अंदाज है उन्हीं का लिखा हुआ है।
श्योर।
जी
बहुत सुंदर है, थैंक यू। राधे राधे।
जी। जय जी, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
राधे राधे
राधे राधे।
राधे राधे। હું લેસ્ટરમાંથી છું, UK.
You are from UK, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
જય
How do
મારો
you like the program?
જય મારો સન છે, એનું નામ છે।
You like the program? Program आपको अच्छा लगा?
बहुत अच्छा लगा।
Thank you so much.
राधे राधे राधे।
So Hema ji,
हेमा दीदी,
we don't know Gujarati much, but you know Gujarati, right, Hema ji?
No, I know. Is it Induben? I can't remember
Jay.
your name. Induben tamaru naam?
नो संवेदना।
No, Jay ji, Samvedna ji दूसरी हैं।
Is your husband? But
My
tamaru naam
Jay.
I bhuli gayi.
My name is Kundan.
Kundan Ben, that's it.
मैं बोलती है
Ben.
कौन
Kundan
बोलते
Ben's from Leicester. He's
Leicester,
one of our
right?
satsangis.
You know her, right?
जय मेरा
Yes.
son है।
Yes.
Wonderful.
This Leela was really amazing because when I first came into Sri Maharaj's satsang, I was just mesmerized by all the pictures of the Balakrishna Leela. And I remember asking someone in the early stages, like, why is Krishna seated under the cart? It's very dangerous. What's this story about? And he was unable unable to tell me. He says, "Oh, I don't know, but it's just one of the Bal Leelas. You'll stumble upon it later on." And I've stumbled upon it not once now, but twice. So I've got a double dose of it. It
Yeah,
is
you are
really
attending US Bhagavad Mahapuran. You are attending this session. I don't know how many Bhagavad sessions you are attending. So wonderful.
it all helps. It all
Yeah.
helps to encrust the knowledge in the hard drive up here, and then help the next generation, which are going through so much stress and anxiety now in this Kali Yuga. They need all the help, support, and guidance that us elders can give them, because they have a lot more to face than what we've been through. So it's all to help the next generation, and also have knowledge for myself as well, which is good. Radhe Radhe, thank you.
Radhe Radhe. So any final word from Yatin ji or anyone, or else we can? Yeah.
From this today's discussion only, I have one question. I mean, we can discuss it on maybe next
No,
time
we
also
can
if you.
discuss. We can
Okay.
discuss now.
So my question is it possible to completely surrender to God while you are in the grahast life?
90% of the saints have been Girastha. We should never think that there is anything wrong with the Girastha ashram. 90% saints are from Girastha ashram. Girastha ashram is the best. Where else will you get so many dandas, beating? So Girastha ashram, you will get so much of problems that
Right.
the heart will naturally gravitate towards God. Okay.
Yeah,
So
because
that is in the
Right.
lighter vein, but the fact
Right.
is Girastha ashram is amazing. So for even in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna recommends the karma yoga and not karma sannyas. Both lead to God, but between karma yoga and karma sannyas, Sri Krishna says, become a karma yogi. Whatever you are doing, you do. You are a computer programmer, keep doing your computer program, but now your mind has changed and you are making computer programs. You are doing it as a service to the Lord. I will earn my salary. A part of my salary will go to serve the Lord, and I will increase my devotion. So whatever we are doing, if it is directed towards the pleasure of Lord, that is devotion, that is bhakti. So Girastha ashram is very much ideal, no doubt about it.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
And you are in Girastha ashram, right?
Yes. I was just asking because because when we are in the grahast setting, I mean, we are surrounded with at least with the people who currently right now we are attached to them. So I mean, if we are in so much attachment surrounded by, so how will it be possible to 100%? Like, yes, we can do the best we can.
100% means you become God. 100% means you become God realized. So 100% is the highest achievement.
Highest.
But if you achieve 50%, 60%, that itself will be amazing, right?
Yeah.
So after 50%, they say the journey becomes very much easier. It is a downward slope. Reaching up to 50% is so in Girastha ashram, you are saying we are attached to the children, we are attached to the spouse, we are attached to the all the relatives, but we just have to wait. A time comes when the same children who we cared so much, they start showing their different side. They become more attached to their own family and they start neglecting their parents in many cases. Then the virakti comes, so and same in the case of other relatives. Nothing is so blissful unless the other person is spiritually inclined. We will always see the selfish streak in that individual. So that attachment will slowly go away.
Right.
So yeah, but one can remain duty bound. We do all the duties, but The attachment to God is the most important. Attachment to the family at the cost of attachment to God will not give us
Right.
the bliss to the soul. We want bliss to the soul and not just bliss to the senses.
सही कहा आपने. Right.
Ji.
Thank
So
you.
with that, बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार
सरकार
की
की
जय,
जय.
श्रीमद युगल सरकार
सरकार
की
की
जय,
जय.
जय जय श्री
जय श्री
राधे,
राधे,
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे.
जय जय श्री राधे.
राधे.
राधे राधे everyone.
Radhe Radhe everyone.